Hi there Wargamers, Dan, DeathBringa Cain here, bringing you part 5 of my Gaslands vlog. This time it's featuring on the set of premium gates from LaserForge again. It's also going to be a little showcase once I've built and painted the things, so you can actually see what I've done with them. So, let's start with the actual kit first and see how it goes, and we might even turn this into a little tutorial, see how the first gate goes together, and then I'll try and build one in front of the camera. Alright guys, let's have a quick look. We get a little cover sheet in with the name, in with the product. There we go, that's a good enough word for what it is. Again, with the LaserForge, you get a choice of colours for your acrylic inserts. I went for green ones, which have still got the plastic covers on, so I'll have to take those off in a bit. On here you've got a little advice thing saying don't be an idiot, don't force things in when they don't want to go, and the instructions can be found blah blah. Anyway, if you want those instructions, I'll put a link down below to that as well. Okay guys, let's have a look at the actual product. So nicely bagged up in a big Ziploc bag. So you get the 6 gates in here, or rather there should be. So, got a little baggie of acrylic things, and 4, no, sorry, I tell a lie, there's 6 here. Oh, broken, is it? Oh, terrible. What a waste. People who watch my other videos will know that I've secretly died inside from doing that. No. Sorry, I like my Ziploc bags. So, got decent thickness for a 20mm game. You don't want it too thick for things. So, so look, you got your little finish line, as it were. Detail bits for the acrylics to go into. Lots of framey bits. So there looks like to be 6 identical gates, and we've got a load more of these gate things. Although, there's some more there. Yep, so we'll have a look at these gates. I'm going to punch out enough to make one gate, and we'll see how we go. Okay guys, back in a tick. Right then Wargamers, I thought I'd give this a tutorial attempt. See how it goes. So for the gates, we've got, we're going to do one gate obviously for this, and you're going to duplicate this 6 times. So what we need 2 of these large things that hold on the acrylic pieces, and the actual centre of the gate. So what we're going to do is find a little tab. So I'll zoom in there. Little tab that's holding the piece to the sprue, and rather than trying to just push it through, chop it off. So I'm going to do that for all the pieces that are required. I'll be back in a second as I've done that, so you don't really need me to watch me cutting those pieces off. So 2 seconds guys. Okay guys, I sort of just add, those of you not familiar with MDF kits like most of us, we'll get a piece like this occasionally. You notice that the inside is filled, but there's no tabs on it, so it should just push out. So you want to do that before you assemble anything, so obviously get rid of the bit of the rubbish bit. Okay guys, back in a tick. Right guys, the next bit to do is go around all these nice pieces that you just chopped out. You'll see where the tabs are, you'll left a nice little nick, or whatever you want to call it. So just get a bit of sandpaper or an emery board or something like that, and just give it a quick smooth off sand. So I'm going to go and sand all these nice bits and get rid of them. So we're back in a second. Right guys, I'm going to start with the centre of the gate, the bit that holds the number. If you're like me, you're going to want to paint this thing, so you have to only assemble it halfway, so you can still put your acrylic in after it's painted. We're going to stick one side on, so I'm going to stick some glue on these larger areas, so they're just there, and there, and obviously the same on the other side. So we don't need too much because it's probably all going to split out the sides anyway. So then we stick it on the large bit. There we go. So the best way to do it is line it up with the edges there, so I'll just push it over side. Make sure you can see the channels right, so they're actually lined up right. And then what we're going to do is, for lack of a better tool, I'm just getting a knife in there. See those little, get rid of that glue so it doesn't foul how the gate goes together. So, on the inside, I use a little cotton bud with water on it, so just to get rid of the excess. There we go. That'll do. We're going to stick that to one side to dry. Then we'll move on to the next bit. Right, the next bit is going to do the supports of the gates. I'm going to attach in the bits that hold the directional indicators for the acrylic bits, obviously the arrows and whatnot. So these are basically going to go into these two big holes, and we're going to put a bit of glue down here and push it in there. So just stick some glue on there. Right then. And we're going to put the bit, this here is where you chopped off the sprue and you've sanded it a bit. It's not overly obvious, but I'm going to stick the bit that's not sanded and got that bit of attachment on down to the bottom. So line up the holes. And make sure you push where the peg is directly, otherwise you'll snap the piece in two. Right then, so gently push it in. There you go. Now you notice all that glue spurted out the side, so you get your cotton bud or your wet rag, just run it down the side. Get rid of that excess glue. And we're all sorted. We're going to do that again for the other side. And you don't need to watch me do that again, so back in a second, guys. Right guys, once you've got all four of those pieces into your two sides of your gate, you need to assemble, well, gather the pieces, because you were already assembling stuff. So we've got one, we're going to do one, obviously we're going to do one side, so what we're going to do is going to pop them to one side so we don't get confused. So we've got one base bit, you've got, you notice these bits have got forming actually the sides of your gate. So you've got two bits with 2 tabs, 2 bits with 3 tabs, and 2 bits with 4 tabs. So your 4s go at the bottom, your 3 at the middle, and the 2 at the top. So you'll notice that out of your sets you've got one large one and one small one for both sizes. So it's a good way of telling which is which. So what we're going to do is we'll stick some glue on these tabs here, and we'll put them onto the actual base. Shouldn't need a great deal of glue because there's not a right lot to glue onto on this one. There we go, that should do. So literally just stick those in the holes. Simple as. And we're going to do the same with the other side. There we go, that should be plenty. In fact, should be a bit too much probably. So as before, stick it in the holes. Plenty of leeway there. Now what we're going to do is going to lay it down. We'll get the 4 pieces and just size them up. So obviously we want the smaller of the 2, which is this one here. You just basically they'll only go in one way, so that looks like it won't go that way. So flip it over. Yeah, that looks like fine. So what we're going to do is we'll stick some glue down here on both sides and then shove it in. So There we go, that should be plenty. And hopefully I've not turned it around the wrong way. There we go. The first one's always the hardest again, so we got it in, just squeeze it together and then just run your finger down there to get rid of that excess glue. Then just, there you go. So what we're going to do is we'll flip it over, do the other one. So again, we're going to size it up, so no, it can't go that way, so it must go that way. And again, glue on the sides. Excuse me. There we go, just spread a bit out there. That's pretty much wiped off, never mind. There's plenty of glue on there anyway. There we go. And before, just run your finger down there. Get rid of the excess. Right. Onto a bit of freeing. As I've got it this way up, we'll start with the back. So again, size it up. Looks like it'll go that way, just have a look at the other way. I think this piece is ambidextrous. Can you be ambidextrous for something that's not hand? Don't know, probably not. Oh, if you're not doing a tutorial there, so I'm sure you can figure that bit out. So it's clean end with glue. There we go. Getting all crusty. There we go. So, shove that in there, that went nice and easily. There we go. I'll flip it over. And again, I think this is probably the same. Yeah, looks like I can go in either way, so again, get rid of the excess glue off your fingers. There we are. And again, squeeze together and get rid of the excess glue. There we go, and the last one of the two pieces. So, the short of the two is obviously going at the top, well, the bottom of the bigger of the two is going at the top. So, as it's this way up, we'll start the underside. There we are, squeeze that together, wipe off the excess. That's done for the last bit. There we go, and the last bit goes in. The last squeeze and wipe. Now the only bit you want to be concerned with, keeping clear, is this bit at the end. So just, when you cotton bud, try not to push it out like an idiot, like I just did. There you go, so do another one of those for the other side. And then you're on golden. Then we'll have Leave that to dry for a bit, then we'll worry about sticking the bits into the side. Okay guys, back in a second when that's dried. Right guys, next we're going to be gluing on these little clip bits which are going to help to hold the acrylic directional markers that goes on the side of these uprights. We're only going to stick one side on them until we finish painting it. So I'm going to stick it on the front, well the inside rather than the front, sorry. So like before, we've got two holes here and here. Obviously got two pegs on the uprights. So like before, just a little bit of glue. I really don't know, that's probably a bit too much, but never mind, we can always wipe it off. As before, just need to take real good care when you're sticking these in, guys, because these are really thin and break very easily. So push over where the pegs are. There we go, slightly in, get one side going as well. There we go. There we go. And there we go, that one's in. So before we get that wet cotton bud to get rid of the excess glue, so we don't get a big blob of glue drying there. There we go. One side on. Nope. Also inside as well, we don't want that as well. So now we're going to do the other side, same as before. There we go. As before, we'll line up those pegs. We're going to line up those pegs. There we go, look at that. Ooh, got a tough one here. Try the other end first, eh? Maybe it's just me being a weakling. No, it's definitely not going in there. There we go. Probably a bit of dry glue in there from before. There we go, and before, like before me. Get rid of that excess glue. Oh, wonderful. Cotton bud's coming apart. It's making life a lot easier. Okay, and sometimes you'll realise there's a bit of a gap between these. So what I do is get a bit of super glue, squirt a little super glue in the gap. I squirt a little bit of super glue in the gap when the super glue decides it wants to come out. I'll stop that. Right, then I've got a break while I unclog my super glue. Right guys, after I've unclogged that, it should come out. Oh, there we go. So we've got a big gap there. We don't want that, so bit of glue on there. There we go. You could get away with using PVA in this if you had timing clamps. So just hold that while it sets. You don't need to see me do this, so I'm just going to hold this and jump ahead. Obviously do this on both sides. Right guys, once all those bits have dried and it's time to put your gates together now. One thing I've noticed with the gates is there's not a right lot of room in here for this bit to go into. There's actually quite not enough room, if to be honest. So what I've had to do is I've had to sand basically just rub this on sandpaper a bit, so it's made it slightly, take a few millimetres off either side. Well, not a few, but it's just enough to make it so it'll actually go into the hole it's meant to go. So once you've painted it, I'm probably going to glue it together. So I'll leave it not done in space and just line up the top and bottom there into that hole and basically just push in. There we go. There we go. Same on the other side. Should be a bit easy now because I don't have to hold it together that much. There you go, you got your gate, and they just literally, these ones have test fitted. There's quite a lot of room for error, as it were, on these ones. There we go, stick those four in there. Those four in there, then your acrylic parts will sit in the here and here, then you put glue in your these little parts to hold them in. But obviously I'm going to wait till I've painted mine in. I'm painting mine before I show you how to do that bit. So I'm going to go in and prime these black. Obviously take the acrylic part out again. That's just an example. And let's put it that way around. There we go. The gate number you can see there. So that's basically what the part thing looks like before it's painted. So back in the tick once I've got it undercoated. Right guys, I've got it all sprayed, primed with the black rattle can. So I use the black rattle can rather than the airbrush because then you have to tend to soak up airbrush paints, well any paint in general, to be honest, until you prime it with a decent primer. So what I'm going to do is the girder type pieces and these fixtures I'm going to airbrush up with this kind of silver. It's quite bright, but I'm like, oh bloody hell, that's a good way to go about it. Just drop it on the model side. Yep, so I'm going to do that. Airbrush up with the girder bits. This bit I'm going to do kind of like a stipple of road effects. So I'm going to get these are some copies of well, colour matched, not a copy rather, of some Games Workshop paints. So I've got the Fang here, Eshin Grey, Dawnstone and Sletcher Grey. So I'm going to play around with that, do some stippling. I'll do that under the camera I think, see what I'm doing with that one. But once I've got these bits done in the metallics, I'm going to go to town with this rust wash and see what happens with it. See if it needs another coat of silver. So I'll be back in a second once I've sprayed these and got them washed with the rust wash. Okay guys, back in a tick. Right guys, I've sprayed it silver. It's not the best silver ever, but it'll do for what we're doing for this. Now I'm going to give it a wash of little null oil. As you can see that. They're just very simple. We'll just basically cover the entire model with it. So I'm going to go do this. Might speed it up, I might show it, I don't know. You don't know. Sooner than I will. No doubt. Okay guys, let's do this. Okay guys, we're going to let that dry and we'll go to the next step. Right guys, once the black wash is dried, the null oil, it's looking a bit like this. So next we're going to brush on some Vallejo rust wash. Or is it, yeah, light rust apparently. So same again, just to smother the entire thing. Dot the bottom in this. Now this will probably stain it quite thoroughly. So we're probably going to need the dry brushes afterwards of silver. So We'll see what it looks like anyway once it's all dry. Right then. Alright guys, I'm going to let that dry and we'll be back in a second. Once that's all dry, we'll probably hit it with a dry brush of silver to make it pop. Alright guys, back in a tick. Right guys, once that's dried, it's looking a bit like this. It's a bit dull though, and I wanted to add something to make it the edges pop out and pick out the detail bits. So I'm going to give it a dry brush of iron breaker. So I've already got some on my brush. So as you're not familiar with what a dry brush is, basically got a load of paint on some paint on the brush. I'm going to get pretty much all of it off, only leaving like a tiny bit on. So just basically rolling back and forth, picking out the edges. It's only a subtle difference here. Going a bit heavier in some places, a bit harder, a bit less, more in some other places. Don't know if that's coming up. Yeah, so it's starting to pick out the light. There we go. Got a bit more heavier on the base plate. No reason I think it might just get a bit less rust on it. Starts like that. There we go. Pretty much done there, I think. So that's that. Put it one side, let it dry, and we'll be on to the final painting stage, which is not really a necessary stage for everyone. I'm going to have some rust pigments here and there. Now I'm going to go away and finish this over half of the gate, and then we'll be going on to the actual line, as it were. Okay guys, I'm going to finish this one off camera. You don't need to see me do it twice. Okay guys, back in a tick. Right guys, next on the steps is I'm going to do the painting the actual gate line, is the best way to describe it, I suppose. Or the base roof, even better way. And we're going to make this kind of concrete colour, so I'm going to start off with like a three-tone concrete effect. What I'm going to do is get a nice big round brush. We're going to stipple it, which for those of you who don't know, is basically just hitting the concrete over and over again. Now, because we're going to use for this, we're going to start off with quite a heavy one with the fangs, kind of like a blue grey. Then we're going to go to like a mid one, well, it's quite light actually, it's called Dawnstone, and then finally it's quite a light Celestial Grey, and then we're going to wash it back with a bit of black to pick out the lines that are on there. But what I'm going to do, the paints I'm actually using is colour matched ones. They've got some tester pots made up colour matched to those three colours, so I'm going to use those instead of using actual expensive paints. If you're only doing this one thing and you want to match along or whatever, it might just be cheaper for you to, obviously you only buy the paints once rather than twice effectively. It's only really worthwhile getting them colour matched if you can use quite a bit of it, like I suppose I have over time. Okay guys, I'm just going to do a quick swish, and then we're going to get some paint on my brush, and then we'll get stippling away. Alright, 2 seconds guys. Right guys, once that's all dry, I'm going to apply some Null oil all over it, so there's nice liberal coating. Yeah, I struggle with the actual pot. So, nothing fancy, just slap on a wash. Obviously don't let it pull too thickly. Tone down that stippling nicely and blends it all together. And I'll pick out those details that are actually in the laser and help us see them when we come to do something with them a bit later. Let's spread that out a bit. And let's get some down the side. To make that a bit more subtle. Try not to stick your fingers on it like I just did. Oops. Let's try to do it on camera as well. There we go. Do that a bit. There we go. So quick tickle out. So so it's not too thick in anywhere. So there we go, drying it guys. We're going to let that dry and we'll be back in a tick for the next bit. Right guys, once that's dried, we're going to pick out these little directional arrows and a bit of yellow paint. I've chosen a certain little base colour, Avalanche Sunset. Because I'm lazy and it goes quite nicely over with not too many coats. So basically we're just going to use paint inside the lines. So here's going, hopefully it'll stay inside. And there we go, I've already gone over a bit. It's a good start. So guys, I'm just going to do this quickly from the camera, hopefully. Hey? And I think I might even speed this up to save you watch me paint yellow in squares. Well, not even squares, but get the idea. Right guys, and there we go. Not exactly the neatest job I've ever done, but it's not bad. Stayed mostly in the lines. I mean, it's alright. Undecided whether I need to put a second coat on or not. Sometimes it might look better if it looks like it's actually been painted on if it's a bit inconsistent. But anyway guys, I'm going to go away and do the rest of them and decide while I'm doing the rest of them whether or not I need a second coat. Okay guys, catch you in a bit. Right guys, after that's all done, next it's time to put your parts together. So first things first, we're going to take the two halves of the middle of the gate, and we're going to stick the gate number in. So it doesn't really matter at this point, it doesn't matter which way around it goes. So, or which way around it goes in, should I say. So that fits in nice and snugly. Now if you wanted to, you can put a bit of glue on that, but I've actually found these are so tight that it doesn't actually require any glue on this part. So here it goes. Let's hope this don't scrape off too much paint. So literally just push it in so it won't go any further. There we go. There we go. There we go. So pretty much flush there. Didn't sound good, that did it? Sounded a bit like a bit of wood breaking there. There we go. Let's turn that round so it's actually the front. Have a little zoom out. So there you go. Now next thing you can do is glue it into your base. I don't know if I said. I decided only to go for the one layer of this yellow. Looks a bit cheaply done, which is kind of what it's the apocalypse after all. So if you wanted to just put a bit of glue on the bottom of these and stick it in, but for the friction on these is, again, let's put it in shot, shall we? It's plenty. Now the reason I'm not putting any glue on mine is the fit in the case easier with the base removed, so I can kind of like yeah, let's get that the right one, interlock them like that. So obviously I've not got one to hand that's not part of the assembly, so that's on there. So now it's time to put your the acrylic inserts into the side of your gates. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to tell which way around the gate is facing, because at a glance it's kind of hard to see the number, which is unfortunately a bit of a downside. So at a later date I might put a bit of paint on there to make it a bit more obvious, which is the front obviously. So next thing you got to decide, it's I think it's personal preference. The etching is only on one side. While you can see it from the other side, it's obviously more apparent on one side than the other. So I chose to put the etching on the outside of the gates, figuring that that's the side that you're going to see most, probably. Well, I think anyway. So the smaller parts go on the side that you're driving through, so your front, and the larger ones go on the other side, obviously. So give me a brief cut so to get my glue to hand and the some clamps to hold in place, and then we'll be back in a second. Right guys, now I'm ready to get the acrylic parts, and I've got some PVA on my brush, so I'm going to do the one side on camera and then get the other one done off it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the front, the back side, or the side of the arrows are going on first. So let's get some glue in there. Not going to need too much on here, so. Now hindsight, it would have probably made sense to stick the acrylic part in first, but never mind. So, I'm going to get it I say the right way around, the way around I want it. You get it in there. Depending on how you've assembled it, you might have an easier time than me. There we go, that's in. And because we've got the locking piece that I've already painted, I'm going to line up those holes. Well, I think that's the easiest one of those ever gone in. I'm quite scared now. There we go, that's one side. Now, good thing to note is to be careful to press over the pegs and not in the middle, as I found out. Very easy to snap these because they're very thin. Also note, probably don't know, you can see that there, there's quite a big gap there. So the way I fix this, I get some super glue. Kind of squeeze it in the middle. On either side, so just a little dab there, squeeze back in, just wipe off the excess. And so make sure it dries in the right place, get you some clamps on there. And that's that. There we go. Give that a few moments to dry. While we're waiting, while it's clamped in, I'm just going to paint the other side and get that in. Also, something you probably eagle-eyed people notice. It's good if I didn't glue this on, this middle part on. I'm going to put it on backwards. Well, the way I see it backwards. I see this arrow as being the way it's pointed forwards, and I had that facing the other way. That's why I like working with PVA, because you got a lot of working time, and it's quite a strong bond after all that. There we go, so got that one on. Stick in the acrylic part. There's a talker and toothbrush, paintbrush in my mouth. Just put that down. And same as before, line the pegs over the holes and pushing from above the pegs. And these are very stiff, these are. Probably doesn't help the layer of paint on there, on these clamps on either side. I'll probably take that one around because that super glue will be dried. Yep, and that's a prime example why you shouldn't apply too much force in the middle. There we go, that took some pushing in. That's what she said. There we go. And as before, there's a slight gap there. Bit of super glue in the gap. Now you don't have to use super glue here, I'm just doing it because it's quicker drying. Wipe off the excess that's squeezed out, and you were able to get them nice before. Stick some clamps on for a bit. And there we go. Right, I'm just going to go away and do the other side off camera, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys? Back in a minute. Right guys, now it's all assembled. It's looking kind of nice. Really quite pleased with how it turned out. It's really nice and easy to tell which one it is. Obviously once you've got them down, you don't need to know which the numbers are really. But it's maybe it's a choice of colours and how it turns out, but anyway, turned out quite nice. There you go, monster truck crossing the line. Well, not in my case, it's normally crossing the high up piling into the posts of the line. So, closing thoughts on this. It went together quite easily enough. The holders for the acrylic parts were a bit of a pain in the arse. I had many of them break on me. Partly down to me assembling them and them being, excuse me, extremely thin. But then again, it's necessary for if it's too big, it's going to look really silly. So maybe they could have done a bit better, slightly larger holes and a bit more tolerance, especially up here, because I was told that you'd be able to change the gates symbols out, but I don't really want to try and remove these parts of they're literally that tight that well, the friction alone is holding it. So would I recommend them? Definitely. I think it's a good gate for Gaslands. Well worth your I think was it £20 odd. It was when I bought it. It's been a while since I've had these and it took me a while to get them finished. So guys, thanks for watching. Stick around for more Gaslands coverage and a bit more potentially of a battle report when I get around to get more than one team done. Thanks guys, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the Model Exchange for their templates and the gates and other stuff they're bringing out. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, and stay safe. See you later guys. Bye bye.